May profits be upon you. I'm going to look at the US dollar index, also known as Dixie. All right. And we're going to do a top down analysis starting from the monthly. And what are we looking for? We're looking to see what our bias is going to be going into this next trading week. Okay. All right. First thing I want to look for is fair value gaps. That's the very first thing I want to look for. And I want to see if price is respecting or disrespecting fair value gaps. All right. Really, I'm looking for PD arrays that are being respected or disrespected. In a bullish scenario, like so, I want to see bearish fair value gaps like this one here being disrespected and bullish ones being respected like this one. That's the current one we're in right now. And oh, when I see that, let me use that thing there. When I see this, I'm automatically thinking, okay, well, looks like uh, we have a we have a bullish some bullish momentum. You can see how when price comes back to test the bullish fair value gap, it is acting as support and pretty strong support because it's been tapped many times. Now, also take note that there was a bearish fair value gap here, right? And price came tapping up into that, all right, running up into that and respected it, also forming another bearish fair value gap right here. These are imbalances, folks. And price, the markets like to rebalance that which is imbalanced. Okay. This is the opening candle for not the well, actually this is the February's candle, and it's already taken last week's candle. I mean last month's candle. So let's take a just to take a closer look in here to emphasize a point. We see that we have bullish momentum. We've taken the high from last month, all right, January's candle. And the next high to raid, the next liquidity, buy side liquidity to raid is December's high, all right, which happens to be right into this fair value gap. And I wanted to see, it's going to be very important to see how price reacts once it gets up there. So I'm looking very closely at this, all right, because if price does respect it and doesn't overtake it, doesn't just trade through it, then we can see price come back into this range again. All right. And it could bounce in there for who knows how long. But if price trades through it, this probably becomes an inversion. All right. An inverted fair value gap. And we may see it act as support and price continues up. Okay. But right now, we see the support is here. All right. And we see that we've already taken last month's candle. That gives me a bullish outlook. Okay. And we are getting ready to run into a headwind. All right. Let's go to the weekly. On the weekly. All right. I'm going to get rid of some of this stuff because it's not as important. All right. Now, look at this. This is the dealing range from this low, this swing low to this swing high, right? I want to stretch it out over here. All right. You can see that price has basically made an optimal trade entry here. All right. Down to the 786. All right. 786 of Fibonacci retracement level. And you can see it's been bullish since. All right. The strong low, and you've heard me mention this in my videos before, the only purpose of a low is to make a new high. When it fails to do so, it becomes a liquidity target. When it breaks structure and creates a new high, makes a higher high, all right, naturally you're going to think uh, you're expecting it to make a higher low, and that ends up being if a optimal trade entry. You know that's the potential, and that's what you're expecting. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. You adjust accordingly, but that's the expectation. All right. So with that in mind, that again, that uh, kind of validates my bullish outlook. All right, you can see how price came up here, and you can also see that there was, sorry, there was a bearish order block here, right? And price is trading through it. All right, that is a disrespect of a PD array, and that's what I'm looking for. You can also see that once price came down to this low, cutting down to this low, you're wondering what made it pop up. Well, just look here. It's there's a bullish a fair value gap. Not here, not here, not here. Price just came on down to that bullish fair value gap, and that's where it found support. All right, it's that simple. It's that simple. Okay, so and you want to see when price reacts after hitting a POI, you know, a place of interest, if it leaves a fair value gap behind. All right, that's important. This one did. Price came back to as a reference to it. Right, you know, this one closed. Closed the this establishes the high of the fair value gap. Sorry, and the this establishes the low on this side, and price has not come back to it as of yet. All right, and it continued higher, and I'm looking to see if it will make a fair value gap up around here. All right, but you can see that there's some bullish momentum here. Also, uh, we have again this fair value gap up here. All right, for the weekly, and we're looking to come into those highs. I'm looking to see if price will come into those highs. I kind of I'm expecting price to refer back to yesterday's last month's high here, come back before it taps that. What we'll see. That's my expectation, just based on how things usually work out. But if it goes straight up, that's fine too. I'm gonna watch it come back down here, and we'll see how price reacts. But I want to see if it creates another fair value gap here. All right. But so far we have bullish momentum going into a bearish fair value gap. But uh, the bullish PD arrays are being respected. The bearish ones have been disrespected. Got it? All right. Let's go to the daily. And on the daily, what do we see? Let's get rid of this. All right. That's not as important here. All right. I'm going to draw out this weekly fair value gap on the daily, right? And you can see that price has already traded into that fair value gap. That means it's weak. I don't expect it to hold. I don't. I think there's more potential for it to fail and be disrespected than respected. We'll see, right? We'll see. But you can see prices already traded back into it. All right, and that means it's already mitigated. Okay, let me get back. Let me get back there. Okay, now I can bring this over here. So this is December's high, right? And we're looking to hit that way. This is a very bullish candle because it engulfs. it completely engulfs the previous candle, which I like to see. All right, this is Friday's. No, this is actually Thursday's candle. Yeah, and this is Friday's candle. Friday's candle totally engulfed it. All right, and I'm looking forward to tap to come back here, come back to this level. Let me see, right here, and we'll see if it does this kind of number and then comes up, and we'll see what it does when it gets up here. But I do believe this will be the draw, the next draw in liquidity. All right, and because we're so close, I'm not thinking it's going to come down to these lows before it goes up and takes that. All right, let alone this one, because this one is right behind that one. All right, so uh, I want you to also see that I am looking for the other side of this fair value gap that is creating. All right, this candle is still open. Okay, we got to wait till it closes before we can say, hey, it's left a fair value gap. This fair value gap does not exist yet, but if it does leave one, that's a pretty bullish sign. I want you to also make note of this note here. This is this is a fair value gap uh, being respected, and something extra here is the volume imbalance, and you see that you'll see that volume imbalances are just I use them as secondary because sometimes they can be quite weak. If you want to look at them as the same as a fair value gap, I think that would be a mistake. All right, but in most cases, I'll just draw around it and I'll look to see how price reacts when it gets there. But inside of a fair value gap, a bullish imbalance, and of overlapping a fair value gap, that's pretty strong stuff. And you expect that fair value gap to be respected, and this one was. Okay, uh, so that is something I want you to keep in mind. But we have room for to take longs, and if you wanted to long U.S. dollar, you have room to do so up to the fair value gap, the bearish fair value gap up here. All right. Now I'm gonna go one more level for you to the hourly. Okay. And something I want to see here is uh, you see this consolidation and how price broke above that consolidation, and uh, you you have the I have the expectation that price will come back to this line and find its way up. Will it come all the way back down here and in this area and reclaim this consolidation? Because if it does come back down here and reclaims that, then I'm looking for price to continue lower. All right, this is a, a, a fair value gap that you just don't ignore because it's huge. All right, it's very wide. That's a beautiful bullish fair value gap. Let me just use the band. All right, that's a beautiful fair value gap, and then we have the daily right under it. All right, this is going to be a pretty strong uh, reason for a price to respect, to respect this fair value gap. Okay, because they overlap. So, uh, with this in mind, I want you to think Euro USD, Pound USD, um, uh, NZD USD, New Zealand dollar USD, or Aussie dollar USD, USD CAD, Canadian dollar, or US dollar Swiss. You want to take those last two, you want to go long with those. And you want to look for shorts in the other pairs, the US dollar ending pairs. I mean, the US dollar, ending pairs like Euro USD, Pound USD, New Zealand dollar USD, Aussie dollar USD. You want to look for the shorts in that because it looks like we're going to have a pretty uh, It's going to start the week out pretty strong, the US dollar. Okay, I hope that you found this helpful. I'm going to look at the other pairs, and I will make separate videos for those. But yeah, I think we got some good work coming up ahead of us, as opposed to the craziness last week. May profits be upon you. Trade safely, traders.